Be forewarned, as I'm about to review a very gory and bloody movie. However, I will not be utilizing any violent images or video clips within this review, so you can be at ease if you choose to watch this video. So with that in mind, I hope you enjoy. So this is going to be a review of Terrifier 2, a sequel to the first film that came out in 2016. Now, I was unaware of the first Terrifier film and this film until recently. I have a friend that's a big time horror enthusiast and was sort of egging me on to watch this film, Terrifier 2. So I decided, why not? Let's go and go see it. Now, in order to prepare for that film, I did go, in fact, watch the first Terrifier film, which, as I mentioned, came out in 2016. And wow. It was a horror film on a level that distinguishes itself from anything else I've seen besides just pure torture porn. Gory, gutsy, bloody, squishy, whatever sort of term you want to use, it was all of this. All of this led by a mad clown by the name of Art the Clown, who unleashes a level of gore and homicide that puts other horror icons to shame. Definitely the iconic moment from the first film that really sort of sells it and makes it sort of memorable is the upside down naked kill in the first film, where he's literally sawing a naked person in half upside down. And wow, you see that and it's kind of hard to unsee it. In Terrifier 2, the basic premise is that it's a year later after the event that happens in Miles County, and Art the Clown continues his murderous rampage throughout Miles County, claiming the life of one victim after another in gruesome and unseeable fashion. Within this story, other characters who aren't homicidal demonic clowns are a young adult named Sienna and her younger brother who get caught in the initial shenanigans of Art the Clown's rampage. Now, as expected, this movie is the ultimate showcase of guts, gore, and gruesomeness, all from the demented yet genius mind of writer-director Damien Leone, the same madman behind the original film. It likely took a while to come up with all the concept that this movie had going for it, because this is not your average slasher film right here. It makes Child's Play look like an episode of Sesame Street, and Halloween Ends look like a Sunday school lesson. Now, I enjoy a good amount of slasher films out there. I think for the most part, they're pretty fun. But it's not very often that the gore gets to a level where it's on a turn away kind of level where you get kind of squeamish. Just like, ooh, that's some hardcore shit right here. You have to go to real sort of torture porn levels of like the Saw films to get that, at least consistently anyway. With this, you get the ultimate combination of a typical kind of slasher film and sort of your premise and structure, but with the torture porn sort of element in there. What really heightens the experience here, though, is who's doing the killing, as I highlight once again, Art the Clown. The amazing thing with this character is that he's killing people on a level that's beyond sickening. But despite all that, he'll legitimately make you laugh. You know, he continues the whole silent mime gimmick that he does in the first film. And throughout the film, when he's doing his thing, there'll be a visual gag or just a funny gesture or just something that will legitimately make the audience laugh. When I saw this film, it was a surprisingly pretty full theater, and the audience was laughing along with all of the sickening stuff that he would do, and yet, like I said, he would do something that would be legit funny. This is a dynamic that definitely does help the film. It's a great way to ease the tension as you're watching this sort of hardcore shit and just really gruesome sequences, but you're getting some laughs in between. If they didn't have this, there's only so much of these sequences I'd be willing to stomach, and the movie would start to feel heavy, and definitely not in a good way. Despite a very high quantity of kills, and all of them are being pretty great quality too, I don't think any one quick kill quite reaches the level of the upside down naked girl kill in the first film. You know, that kill was definitely some next level stuff I had definitely never seen before. It was just like an, oh my god, like I said, unforgettable kind of like moment, at least in terms of the viewing experience, seeing it for the first time. No kill quite gets to that point, although there are some really good ones here. The best kill here, without outright spoiling it, is an elongated sequence of a character basically just being skinned to pieces by Art the Clown, to which Art the Clown keeps pouring it on and on and on, to where he thinks he's done, but then he'll come back and add some more surprises for this one character. It's a really sort of sad sequence that, like I said, goes on very long, and just like by the end, it's all like, oh man, this character definitely got her money's worth out of this kill, I'll put it that way. The production budget here is definitely higher than the first film, yet is still under $1 million, and you can definitely see that they put every last penny of that to good use with all the effects, makeup, and all the sort of crazy stuff that happens in this film. I'll briefly touch upon our main characters here who aren't Art the Clown. As I said before, that's a character named Sienna and her younger brother. They were fine and they served their purpose. You know, they're the ones that are initially tortured mentally by Art the Clown and all his crazy shenanigans going on. But yeah, bottom line, you get double the guts, double the gore, double the laughs, and even double the fun compared to the first film. Unfortunately, you also get double the length. The first film clocked in at an hour and 24 minutes, a solid running time for that movie. Never really felt like it dragged or anything. This film is 2 hours and 28 minutes, credits included. And to be honest, it felt even longer. I was having a fun time in this movie. I was like, whoa, you know, it's giving me everything that it needs to in a film like this, the torture porn, all that stuff. I'm having fun, having some laughs. But man, those final 20 or 25 minutes just really dragged on. What made it really bad was how repetitive the movie got. Without outright spoiling it, it just felt like the film was just spinning in circles on and on and on during that time frame. This is also where the film began to explore some kind of weird and out there concepts that took it beyond the simple hack and slash sort of horror film. Even worse is that during the credits, this credit started to roll, and I was ready just to get up out of there. But then a few seconds later, a mid-credit scene happened, and it was just like, oh no. And that mid-credit scene went on and on and on also, to where it's just like, man, get me out of here. I really don't know what they were thinking. A film like this does not have to be two and a half hours long. That just drags on way too much. No horror film should really be that length. You know, a horror film needs to be under 2 hours, to where that's what the recent film Smile was, and I thought it was a great runtime for that movie. This film is definitely different than Smile was, but even with the different kind of horror type style it has for it, 2.5 hours is just way too long. It's a shame because I was really having a fun time with the film. I just felt it really dropped the ball at the end because it just dragged on unnecessarily and painfully so. It doesn't take away from the, I guess, special gore showcase that this film is, but it does lessen the overall viewing experience when I personally was begging for the movie to be over. I'd still give the film a recommendation by saying a 7 out of 10 for the movie, maybe even a 7.5, but in that range. It probably would have been an 8 or an 8.5 or around that kind of score range had the ending just been trimmed up significantly. I can only imagine what kind of crazy kills, concepts, or just story ideas they would have for the third film whenever it does happen. But that's a film I definitely do not need to see for a while, even though, like I said, I'd give this a recommendation. But it just needs to be a while before I see another Terrifier film of this type, definitely. So that'll do it for this review of Terrifier 2. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching.